Golden Gate Lesson 6. Some of you have taken the first 5 lessons, may be thinking at this point, when am I going to hear more about the methods of bringing prosperity into my life? My reply to this question is this. The gift of drawing down material supply from the divine abundance is perhaps the hardest to be won of all for most people. Students very soon learn how to obtain abstract things, but their imagination, that powerful magnet within them, does not contain the sure knowledge that material, concrete things can come from an unseen realm too. Because of this, I am devoting most of the course to this one subject and, with my experience of the kind of obstacles which prevent prosperity from manifesting, I am dealing again with them one by one. Yes, if you will follow me patiently, not trying to hurry over the early lessons, if you will believe me when I say that all of each lesson is of great importance to you in your aim, then I shall show you how to overcome the obstacles in your path with absolute certainty. If you have any moments of impatience, demolish them with your Golden Gate affirmation. Obstacles melt from my path as I step through the Golden Gate to good fortune and fulfillment. The first obstacle we must clear away is that of a deviation from truth. Almost every one of you will think, but I don't tell untruths. No, but you very likely deviate from your truth center within you, just the same. Think of truth as a radiant center within your own being. This center is the temple of the indwelling divine spirit, and it is the indwelling divine spirit which you have to contact in order to bring prosperity into all your affairs. If you are not one with truth, if you turn away from it at any time, you are closing the door tightly between yourself and your source of prosperity. Most people, when they have advanced enough to come into contact with a course of this nature, have long ago given up telling lies, even if they did it in their youth. But many people, unconscious of the harm they are doing themselves, hide from themselves the real reason for their actions, words or thoughts. They believe only what they want to believe, create pleasant illusions and alibis for themselves, and then hope, in this world of unreality in which they are living, to draw divine blessings from the very spirit of truth. This is largely an unconscious condition, so don't be in the least upset by it. But you will see how very necessary it is to seek for and face up to your real reason for action at all times. In the next 2 weeks, I want you to clear the pathway to your truth center. It will work wonders in your life, as you will see. So refuse to be put off from fear of seeing yourself as you really are. Remember, we are all pilgrims on life's road. We are all growing and climbing. We cannot expect to be perfect in all things, but we must be ready to face the imperfections before we can put them right. However, it is not for the purpose of putting them right that I want you to face up to them this week. It is for the purpose of clearing the pathway to your truth center and so coming into contact with your source of divine supply. For this purpose, I will describe briefly some of the real motives beneath common actions, words or thoughts in everyday life. Go through them and see which apply to you. 1. The first and most common is the "I had no time" excuse. How easy it is to plead busyness when in reality the interest has waned. One of the weaknesses of man is lack of persistence and perseverance. His emotional reaction at the beginning of the task is enthusiasm. An enthusiastic man usually finds the time to do what he desires in the furtherance of his aims. But as the time goes on, that enthusiasm dies. Then comes his "no time" excuse. He will do anything rather than settle down to the task he set himself so joyfully only a few short days or weeks before. His attention wanders to things he now considers more important, and he does these instead. First things first is the rule in every life. But if you change your opinion constantly as to what is the first and most important thing, then you will change your attention from one first thing to another. It is not persistence you want so much as a clear idea of what comes first in your life. What would have happened if the Tarzan books and their success had not come first with Edgar Rice Burroughs, as I mentioned before? He would have given up long before 10 publishers had rejected his work, but he still kept on after double that number of rejections and achieved success. What would have happened if Edison's idea for a talking machine and an electric lamp had not come first with him? Why, we would never have the benefit of either. Their aims came first with these successful men. Here is where your statement of success becomes so valuable. Read it frequently in order to keep before your mind, what comes first with you. For unless your desire to demonstrate true divine abundance in your life comes first, in this training time you will never achieve it. Keep it first and you will have the fulfillment of your desires. Don't be deceived by the no time delusion. Face it. If it is one of your weaknesses, and say within yourself, I shall have ample time if this comes first with me. As soon as you are determined, the time will be there, as you will discover. 2. More briefly, the second common error is that of making promises rashly and breaking them indifferently. A promise is a very serious thing because you make it, or should do, from your centre of truth, and that is what makes it binding. If you do not make it from this truth centre, then you should never call it a promise. Once a promise is made, you have given an assurance backed by the power of indwelling divine spirit to carry it out. That is the real meaning of promises and oaths. One is just as binding in reality as the other. Yet how many people make and break promises lightly? Unless there is a genuine reason, a man who betrays his own indwelling spirit of truth cannot and should not succeed. Such a man seeking to climb to the abundance of divine outpouring strikes the ladder from out under his own feet. 3. Many people are greatly concerned with the opinion of others concerning them. They have a burning desire to know what others think about their work or appearance, handicrafts or achievements generally. They remain silent, however, because they also want to be considered modest, or they may pass on letters they receive to those around them saying, this will interest you because there is an account of so-and-so in it, but in reality the letters contain flattering references to the recipient which he wants to broadcast to his friends. Another weakness is that people often want others to notice them and look admiringly at them, especially if they are being shown some small honour, such as the boss singling them out for special attention and the like. They, however, feign unconsciousness of the glances or wished-for glances of others, while all the time they are alive with concentrated self-consciousness. All these errors may be multiplied indefinitely. They are all insignificant in themselves, but to the man who seeks to contact his source of divine abundance, they are serious obstacles on his path. In these 2 weeks, be awake to the truth. Face up to your real reason for doing or saying or thinking certain things. Do not be unduly cast down by what you will see. Don't become morbid or introspective, brooding over the past, whatever happens. Just be courageous and think to yourself, what I really want is to be admired and respected more than so-and-so, and that's a worthless aim. I'll abandon that, but I have cleared away an obstacle by just recognising it. Have great faith in your inner power and in your hidden capabilities, and this will counteract the negative weakness you will discover. Hold on to this faith in yourself at all times, and you will lose all desire for the flattery of others. You will want to recognise only that which is true in you. During these 2 weeks, as often as you can, use the Golden Gate affirmation as in the first lesson, but when you say, obstacles melt from my path, think of the particular obstacle you intend to clear. Resolve to clear the way to the source of the divine abundance. You will be sure to keep happy during this period, won't you? For all the digging up and throwing out is every bit as important as your actual thought building. In these lessons, I'm trying to show you the power in your thinking. When it's all very clear, that power will be released to the full. For myself, I often smile when I get demonstrations of the magnetic power of thought. The illustrations are at times most unexpected and even comic. One of these latter is the magnetic attraction of people's names to each other. Once a name is written down, it's a thought, isn't it? Because nobody could write down his own name without thinking of it. Well, those names seem to leap out and link up with similar names. It has happened over and over again during the years, much too often to be a coincidence. For instance, we may have a big pile of letters in one post from this country and some from abroad. As they are opened, we find that a student from England named Mr. R. Bates has written, and the next letter in the pile is another student named Mrs. R. Bates from Australia. Sometimes I have to grin when I see enrolments from new students. One may be called Harris and the following one Harrison or something like that. Once I had one called Mr. Old and the next one was Mr. Older. I could go on and on giving you instances like this. We often smile about them while working in the offices. But the point is, if thoughts can link on to others of a similar nature when they are merely written down names, just think how your thoughts of prosperity can link up with prosperity itself. Consider how your thoughts of prosperity can link you up with the people who can help you or who want to buy what you want to sell, either in goods or services. That's how fulfillment of desires come. So be happy as you clear the way for yours. Change your thoughts and change your circumstances. You have 18 more weeks to practice prosperity thinking. By then it should be a habit.